Hello. Hello, my name is Amanda Knowles, and I am the director of the North Seattle College Art Gallery, and also the curator of this show that we're going to do a walkthrough of tonight, The Sun, the Moon, and Stars. It is a show that is up from was put up on January 31st and runs through March 3rd, and our gallery is open 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So hopefully what I'm going to do here is run through the show quickly and then have hopefully pique some interest and have you all come by at some point. So let's see. I am going to step aside as we sort of talk through some things so that you can see work. I also want to say this exhibition is the first physical show that we've had in the gallery since we were closed down in March 2020 and was put together to mark the 50th anniversary of the moon landing from 1969. And it is now the 53rd anniversary. As we shut down right before installing the show, we had several pieces here through the 2-year period, just waiting to be shown, including a couple of the pieces that we will show tonight. There are 7 artists included, and I will talk about a piece by each artist, and I won't go very deep on anything, but hope that we talk about things and it piques your interest and curiosity, and that you can come and see the show yourself. So we're going to start with this grouping of 3 pieces. These pieces are by Rebecca Cummins, who is a photographer. She teaches at the University of Washington, teaches photography there. She's interested in natural phenomenon and explores this in her artwork. And she does a lot of collaboration with scientists. These 3 pieces are just 3 of us in a series of work, but they track the shadows during distinct periods of time, usually lunch. And these are 3, one from Rome, one from Sichuan, and one from London. She recently was at a residency in Finland where she photographed her own shadow at noon and midnight by drone during summer solstice in the Arctic Circle. So really interested in this natural phenomenon. All right, we will move on to the next piece. This is work by Anna van Mertens. She spoke about her work at length in her virtual visiting artist talk on January 31st. The link to this recording can be found through the NSC Art Gallery's website. In the lecture, she talks about the content of the work, but also the struggles of taking a traditional quilt from the private space of the bed and putting it on the wall, as well as a lot of other things. This piece, Jupiter Rising, January 7th, 1610, Padua, Italy, is a hand-stitched quilt. Reading from her artist statement, Galileo's journal reads, on the 7th day of January in this present year of 1610, at the first hour of night, when I was viewing the heavenly bodies with a telescope, Jupiter presented itself to me. Aiming his telescope at the planet, he discovered 3 pinpoints of light, tracking them on subsequent evenings as they followed Jupiter and not the trajectory of other stars. Galileo's discovery of Jupiter's moons helped confirm Copernicus's theory of heliocentrism, proving not all objects revolve around the Earth. Considered the father of modern science, Galileo was condemned by the Catholic Church for his findings and spent the final years of his life in confinement. She does different lines of art, from exploring science to emojis and auras. She is currently exploring dark matter. And with that, we are moving to the next piece. This piece is by Patricia Lagarde, who is a photographer who lives and works in Mexico. She makes objects, books, prints, and photos. She works with objects as symbol, representation as language, and as metaphor. Together, these images here work as a treatise on longing and belonging. This from her artist's statement: "The moon has been object of our desire since immemorial times. This year marks 53 years since the arrival of man on the moon's surface. The traces of 12 men and 6 flags, in addition to hundreds of devices, have remained as an indelible mark in this gray land barely conquered. But beyond that historical moment, these pieces talk about mystery and poetry of this heavenly body that regulates the tide, the mood, the sanity, and allows the fertility on earth that inhabits the original myths and marks the time that passes inexorably." Here we're showing specifically this piece called "The Moon Doesn't Belong to Anyone." It's sort of a book-like form, although a sculpture. And I had to send the work back that she originally sent for this show in 2020. At that point, so I went to Mexico City in December to meet Patricia and choose work and pick it up from her studio. And it was a great reason for a personal trip that I wanted to take anyway. So the next piece is by Louise Fisher. Louise Fisher is an artist that explores time, light, and shadow. This piece is a portion of an installation entitled Circadian. Each night for a year, she set up a pinhole camera which collected light and image as she slept. We have one of 4 books that she made of the 4 seasons during the time. We have Circadian Winter here. And the images are just a selection from a much larger selection of images. To read from her statement, her work points to the complexities of our current experience with nature. In the work that she has in the gallery, specifically, she investigates how man-made light affects sleep patterns. When you come to the gallery, you can, with help from the people who are sitting here, can leaf through this book, but very gently. Okay. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Kirk Lange is the next artist. Kirk is a Seattle-based artist who makes sculptural forms and wearable objects. He's a rock star in the jewelry world for his incredible work. His pieces reflect his interest in astronomy and space exploration. These pieces that we are looking at here are a necklace and a brooch made with a portion of a meteorite. He also has photos of the 2018 eclipse in the show. Just so you know, he shows his wearable objects at Facere Jewelry Art Gallery here in Seattle. These are really worth coming in and looking at. They're quite exquisite. Great. Next piece. Oh yeah, close up. I like that. The next piece is by Dan Carrillo, who is a Seattle-based photographer who specializes in daguerreotypes and wet plate collodion processes. He started his exploration of the stars when he bought a telescope from his neighbor at a yard sale. He took it apart, cleaned it, and rebuilt it. Figured out that he wanted a fancier one, bought a fancier one, more powerful telescope, and then began imaging, which is where these images come from. And this is an image of the elephant trunk. There we go. Oh, yeah. Again, we're just focusing on some pieces. All of the pieces in this show are very much worth coming to see. I'm tangled up. Okay. Last piece that we're going to talk about is by Nora Powell. She is a Bay Area artist originally from Belgium. I met Nora at Kala Art Institute many years ago. This book, Moonlight, is printed on silk. Reading from her artist statement, multiple layered images of the lunar eclipse evoke the layered cumulative impact of the eclipse. The eclipse that she depicts here was the blood moon lunar eclipse that she witnessed in 2019 in El Salvador. Her work explores ideas of documentation and archiving the everyday and ordinary. Hopefully, yeah, we can page through this with help from the attendants who are in the gallery, but know that it's a beautiful piece. As I said, I just picked a few of the pieces in here. There's more fabulous art in the show, more amazing stories that the artists are working with, and I hope you get a chance to come into the gallery. This and really all art is better live, so we hope to see you in here. Before we end, I'd like to thank Karen Stildrayer, my assistant in the art gallery, as well as our gallery work study students, Anne, Ruby, and Darcy, who helped to hang the work and allow the space to be open to the public and do so much more than just that. I'd also like to thank Jim Jewell and the E.P.I.C folks for your time in documenting this walkthrough today. Thank you. Yay. Woo. Should I?